Hello and welcome. It's me, Mars44, and I'm back with another Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. Today's deck profile, we have the Ancient Dragon, that is a legend. Ancient Dragon, Tyrannolegend. This is actually going to be post BT 11. So any of the new stuff that came out in version E of BT 17 won't be in this one. I will do an update, but I thought I'd do this because it'll be a little bit before I actually get the cards. I pretty much have the deck done, which is why I'm like, okay, you know what? I only have to get a few cards. Let's do this deck profile. So, yeah, it's post BT 11, pretty much. So, yeah, the beginning of Ancient Dragons. Legion looks pretty good though, but Tyrannolegend's always been really, really strong because he's just been like that monster that can either wreck you or wreck itself. That's what he is. He's a double-edged sword. Really, really a fun deck though. A lot of fun to play, and pretty strong as well. So yeah, let's jump right into the deck profile. Actually, if you guys haven't noticed, the deck boxes I normally show, they're actually the ones I keep the deck that I'm deck profiling in. I mean, some decks have switched, like some of the on the roster I don't have in a deck box anymore. I think no, I have it in the deck box, but like it's not in the same one. But yeah, most of them, all the others are pretty much the same. It was just that one. Anyways, let's start off with the deck profile. So, shall we? Our starter is Ancient Dragon, Babyrex. So, if you don't know what he does, when this card is put in the drop zone from rearguard circle, you can counterblast one. If you have a touch, you guys a Vanguard, and you can pay the cost. And if you do, you search your deck for up to one card named Ancient Dragon Tyrannolegend, call it the rearguard circle, and shuffle your deck. So he's basically a free tutor. You use him later on in the game, so he's gonna be kind of just your Vanguard booster for a while until you ride Spinodriver. Most of the time, he's just like your Spinodriver killer. You kill him to get Spino ability off, and you get a free card off of it, so you don't lose anything. But yeah, he's just solid card. Just helps you get, you know, front row plus. That's pretty much all he is. He's a good little solid tutor, just like all those other little tutors that are good. And then we have 4 Ancient Dragon Tyrannolegend. So if you do not know what he does, I will read him out to you. So what he does is limit break 4. Choose 3 of your rearguards with Ancient Dragon in its card name and retire it. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets 10k and an extra critical until end of turn. And then its other skill is you can counterblast 2 Ancient Dragons, and it gets 5k until end of the turn. I never use the counterblast 2 though, because I normally find them good to save up on cards like him, where you can counterblast 1 and return them to the field. And especially if you have like 2 of them, you kill 2 of them with him, and then you counterblast 2, bring them back. Since your limit break cost is no cost at all, you can just continuously abuse his limit break with these types of cards, and then you know you have draw triggers in your Spinodriver limit break to soften the hurt. But it works pretty effectively. Like, it's a really strong deck and a really strong card, so it works very, very well. I'll explain a little more in detail how to use it when we get to some of the other cards, but for now we have 4 Ancient Dragons Spinodriver. So what he does, if you don't know, is limit break 4, choose 2 of your Tachikaze rearguards, and when a Tachikaze rides this unit, you may pay the cost, and if you do, you draw 2 cards. You choose your Vanguard, and it's 10k and a crit. So basically what you want to do is get him and him. He's on one side, on the right or left, doesn't matter. And then Babyrex behind your Vanguard. Kill them both. Counterblast 2. Superior Call a Tyrannolegend, and you Superior Call him. And then you draw 2. So you basically lose nothing. You just gain 2 for 2 counterblasts. It's kind of like a Coco in a way. Pretty much is a Coco. It just, you don't. It's not a 10k Vanguard. And its other skills, if you have more rearguards, gains +2 when it attacks. So it's 13k by itself when it attacks. 18 with Babyrex, so pretty solid for hitting cross rides even. Makes it nice, consistent. You do want to try to aim for him first. Never go for Tyrannolegend first, because you do struggle a little bit with Tyrannolegend, because it's a little more difficult. You basically have to like try to beat up your opponent, try to like wait it out until you get a Spinodriver, ride that, and then go into Tyrannolegend. Because without the break ride, you don't get the pluses you want, and it hurts you a bit. I've run into situations where I just can't get Spinodriver and I have to do something, and then I use his limit break, kill Babyrex, get another Tyrannolegend, kill one of these, bring it back, and then kill something else and it can't come back, and then try to go off from there, but it's not as effective. Another thing is that when you break ride on it, you don't want to use his skill, because one perfect guard and all the cards you killed basically went down the drain. So wait till your next turn to limit break to force out a second perfect guard, or force out tons of shield, or nothing. Maybe win the game. That's how you utilize it correctly, because if they have one P guard, all they need is one P guard, and you use the break ride and his limit break, and you're done. You're gonna take a big blow from it, and it's gonna be hard to bounce back and recover. So, break riding and attacking with that already extra crit and power is for the one turn is good, and then continuing. Say they drop a perfect guard, so now you force them to drop a second perfect guard instead of the third turn. You don't want to do it. I mean, sorry, the second turn you don't want to do it because you've already paid so much. It's not worth it at this point. You want to flush out the rest of the perfect guards, which is hard sometimes before you go off again, but it's hard sometimes. Yeah, so remember that. Don't use their skills on the same turn. Do not do that. I messed up. I messed up and did it. Okay? I had that. I wanted to try it and see how it was. Actually, no, I think I was so far behind that I just went for that one turn kill. And they had a perfect guard. When you are that far behind and you know you're going to lose next turn, you could do it. But, yeah, other than that, don't do it. And then we have 4 12k beaters. So your 4 12ks. Beamankylo. 4 10ks. Ancient Dragon, what's his name? Beamankylo's Ancient Dragon. Well, of course. Criollofall. So 10k's pretty solid. It helps you not get rushed down because you will have a big hand, and then you utilize that big hand into lots of pressure. So you don't want to get pressured too much, and they're just really good rides for that because that's what this deck needs, not to get pressured overly much. And then we have 4 Ancient Dragon Dinocrowd. I know this is a weird lineup, 12 grade 2s, but I actually decided to do 12 grade 2s because of how many cards you actually get, even when you're in Tyrannolegend. That means you have to pressure more, and you'll need more grade 2s. But normally, how many cards you get, you're okay, and especially with having Babyrex sitting in your back row for so long, it's more worth it to play the extra grade 2 just for some more pressure, and especially how the deck works and stuff too. It just helps with more pressure to build up for later on to finish your opponent. And that's why I play 12 grade 2s. Dinocrowd isn't the greatest. What he does is you kill a rear guard. If you have a Tachikaze Vanguard, you kill a Tachikaze rear guard, or is it Ancient Dragon rear guard? You kill an Ancient Dragon rear guard, rear guard, and it gains 5k until the end of the battle when it attacks a Vanguard. So he's basically a good late game, guy. Like, if you really have to end it, he's very good at helping you end the late game, end it off in late game. But other than that, he's just a 9k that you use. He's solid once in a while, but most of the time your other grade 2s are better. This card will be switched in the next update for the grade 2 of this guy, the Counterblast. After it dies, you bring it back, because that'll be much more useful and help you utilize your Tyrannolegend better with the multiple effects of having to reposition cards that you want as well, so you can reposition them wherever you want on the field with them dying and then coming back. Yeah, that'll change, but for now, it's this. When I do the update, it will change. Just remember that. So I already know it's not a great card, and I mean there aren't too many Ancient Dragon cards at that time. So what can you do, right? And then we have 4 Ancient Dragon Paraswall, 4 for cards. No Quintet Wall yet. I don't even think. I think, is there a Quintet Wall version 17? I think there is, but I don't remember. I'll look it up and figure it out. If there isn't, then the next deck profile won't have a Quintet Wall. I mean, update won't have a Quintet Wall. And then we have 4 Ancient Dragon Iguanogorg. The guy I told you about, if he's sent to the drop zone at all. Same thing as Babyrex, actually. If either of them are sent to the drop zone, it doesn't have to be you who does it. You can counterblast one and use their effects. So he can still come back even if, like, a Kagero, or even if Blast Blaze tries to retire him, which he can't because he's not grade 2 or higher. But you know what I mean, like, maybe Blast Blaze Liberator if he's in the front row. And it's like, okay, you retired it to Counterblast 2, well, I'm going to just bring it back with, like, 1 Counterblast. Good job. Good job. But yeah, he could just come back to the field whenever he wants. So he's a really, really important card. Helps so much with Tyrannolegend and utilizing him. And what's really good too is after you've attacked with Tyrannolegend, say, let's think of a field. Let's do that. Do that. Okay, that's your field. That's your. No, that wouldn't be a field you would have. Say it to make a. Okay. Pretend this is your field. I don't know. Let's just do that. So, boost, attack. Funny enough, when you boost with this, if you kill it, power doesn't go to it. So, normally, you don't call anything behind here after Babyrex dies. Because that's just normally what happens. So, after you kill Babyrex, because of the break ride, you normally go off with his skill. So, you don't call anything behind here. Which does save cards in your hand as well. Which is very important. Keep his, a lot of cards in your hand. But yeah, so boost this. Boost this, attack, limit break, kill 3. So you kill these 3, the card that wasn't very important being in the front row, and then these 2, counterblast 2, call them the same column, and say you can finish your opponent off. It's really good for a good finisher as well. I mean, as you can tell, there are quite a few cards that are actually pretty good for finishing, quite a few combos. So this deck is pretty solid with finishing. And then we have 3 Ancient Dragon Triplasma, 3 10k beaters, and then 2 Ancient Dragon Gattlingaro. So he's basically the same thing as Dinocrowd, but 7k. So he just helps you once in a while hitting that mark that Dinocrowd might have to do, but if you don't have him, you just use him and be like, okay, I don't have him. I'm just gonna go for it, kill something, and go for it. Because I gotta do it or else I might lose, right? Yeah, it's everything's situational, but yeah. So just 2 of them because they're not the greatest, but they're helpful once in a while. I might keep them in the next update. I don't know. I gotta see what grade 1s come in. So, anyways, we have 4 Ancient Dragon Dinodile. So 4, and then 3 Black Cannon Tiger. So 7 crit. One thing I didn't like about the 7 crit was when you got Spinodriver, you would want 8 crit. But the problem is if you wrote Tyrannolegend, you need the 5 crit. Although, especially with how many cards you lose to, the 5 crit's helpful. So it's good having the 5 draw. I said 5 crit, didn't I? I meant to say 5 draw. 5 draw, 7 crit with this deck. With this version of this deck. Maybe the updated version, I was thinking of doing 8 crit 4 draw. Especially because there are actually going to be 2 different types of cards that come back, not just 1, and that increases your options of cards that will still remain on the field and help you out. Especially with this card being, you put in the soul and you can unflip stuff, so he's a damage unflipper, which is solid. I was thinking of switching him to the 5k, but it actually doesn't have too much impact switching him to the 5k, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. There's no 5k Ancient Dragon, so. And then we have 4 Ancient Dragon Titanocargo. I don't know how to say it, but 4 draw. No, because 1 Herbivorous Dragon, Brutosaurus. So 5 draw. I actually meant to make this the Margle trigger. There's a Margle of this version where you put in the soul 3k to something. So play the Margle of this version. I'll have it in the description below, the deck list. I didn't mean to play this. I realized it afterwards, and I was like, oh crap, whoa. Oh well. And then we have 4 Ancient Dragon, Ornithhealer. So 4 heal, 7 crit, 5 draw, 4 heal. Pretty standard lineup. So yeah. Yeah, that's really about it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile of Tyrannolegend. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, the deck list will be in the description below. Remember to go ahead and like and comment, and go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. The links to my stuff will also be in the description below. You can go and check those out. And I'll see you guys next time.